What's going on, people? Welcome back to the Red Devil Circle. I'm just gonna quick fire this. I promised I was gonna do this video, but I absolutely just worked the whole day yesterday and I wasn't able to do it. But we're gonna give the three major reasons why our midfield needs to change going into the Liverpool game. And I'm just gonna go straight into it without taking too much time. But guys, take a second to subscribe to the channel and share the video, spread the love, and let's keep the motion going. So, first reason why should we switch up the midfield? And what's our midfield? First of all, we all know it's gonna be Bruno and Casemiro, or Bruno is always in there. But first reason for me is that Bruno hasn't been playing well. He didn't play well against Ireland. He did probably below average in their last game against Hungary and in Portugal. So with Portugal, so I don't see a reason why he should just get back into the team. First of all, his form is not good. Second of all, you need to play your best players against a side like Liverpool where you can't switch off, against a side like Liverpool where you have to start the game well. Just any sign of sloppiness they will take advantage of and they will run away with that game. And watching Bruno, with Portugal, it didn't show me that he's a player in form right now. And also he's been struggling in the eighth position with Manchester United. So I wouldn't take the chances. That's one major reason there. The second reason is that as a coach, you need to show that you have the ability to show power when it's needed. You need to show that as your team. You need to have that sense of power, but also that sense of safety with your players, where your players can come to you for consents and whatnot. But you still need to show power. You need to assert your power into that dressing room. And just playing Bruno every time kind of shows some signs of weakness to Amorim. So I would, apart from his stubbornness, but that is not a sign of power. In this sense, Bruno hasn't been playing well, and seeing how sloppy he was against Ireland, I would drop Bruno. I think he got subbed off too in the later minutes of the game. I would drop Bruno. He has to show that this is his team, Amorim. He has to show power as a manager. And thirdly, and I might have a little bonus at the end there of why we need to change the midfield. But thirdly, you need to show that you abide by your principles. So if you look at, he hasn't done this to the entire squad, but you can name some instances where he's played the players that have proven that they deserve that spot. He plays the players that have showed quality when they've been called on in the games. Like Mount, he's kept Mount there instead of putting Cunha back straight back in. He's switched up Bain there after some series of mistakes in some games, and he put in Lemans. Um, he's shown in some instances that he plays the people that deserve the spot. But in other instances, he's also showed that he can have his favorites. So, like Luke Shaw, I do not get why he sticks with Luke Shaw, but if you look at it, we don't really have any option as of right now. But we did have Heaven at some point, and he refused to play him. So I don't know what's going on there. Um, but apparently now Heaven's injured anyway. But yeah, he showed that he can stick with players that have deserved their spot. that have earned this spot, and he's also shown that he can keep players on that don't deserve this spot, like Bruno. Uh, so he needs he needs to make the switch at the end of the day in that midfield, especially in a game where we keep losing momentum and gaining momentum, and we keep looking for that game where it's gonna be the springboard that's gonna catapult us into better results. So you need to switch up the midfield. He needs to change the midfield. I personally would go with Casemiro and Mainu. I've seen Mainu I've seen Mainu as being a lot quicker recently than he was last season. Obviously, he's gained a bit of muscle as well, but his positioning is still lacking a little bit. But if you want to play him, if there's any better person to play him with, that is Casemiro. So you want to play him with Casemiro. If you must play Bruno, you have to bench Bruno, in my opinion, because even as a 10, he didn't play well with Portugal. You have to bench him. You can't even play him as a 10 because we have too many players in that position. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do with the midfield, and that's what needs to happen. And finally, the bonus point is it's not always necessary to listen to the fans, but most of the fans, their loyalty to the manager kind of lies on this midfield issue. Everyone knows we have a bad midfield, and his midfield selections haven't done him any favor because everyone loves Manu, and we know what kind of talent we're gonna lose to whoever's gonna come get Manu, and he's definitely gonna most definitely gonna go prove himself in a different team, considering our track record right now. So you need to give Manu that opportunity, and you need to bench Bruno for all those reasons I've mentioned. And let's just see how it does. It is a big game to put him into, but this is his time to show his quality. You have to put Manu in there, and it's a very great way to get some fans on board with you if it works out and it becomes a consistent thing. So yeah, um, before the season, I've always been saying the midfield is a problem, but for the manager now, it's his challenge to do what is best in that midfield. That's his challenge to show that his managing abilities is a lot more quality than just having top players like Pep. Pep is a quality manager, by the way. I'm not saying, but he needs to show that he can fix problems with the worst of tools. With a blunt machete, you can still manage to at least cut the field, even though your your hands might end up being bruised and blisters. You still need to show that you're able to, you're up to the task um, before January at least. So that's all I'm gonna talk about today. We've been hearing some rumors on the news about Ugarte, but um, people were trying to push the narrative that Amorim and Ugarte have fallen out, just like he did with Garnacho, and he's been told to find a new club. But that is not the case, and I don't really care because ever since we got Ugarte and gifted Juan Neves, which was supposed to be our priority signing, ever since we did that shit, I I I didn't rate Ugarte. He wasn't starting games for PSG. You know what I mean? He had what, like 2 games for the whole season for PSG before we got him, something like that. Um, PSG knew what they were getting rid of, but we never seem to get it. I don't get it. That's one of the strangest signings ever, and he's nowhere near good enough. Not at all, not in my books. Not even for the one of the lower teams. Of maybe he'd be starting for the lower teams, but his passing is absolutely terrible. Um, his positioning, it's not good enough. You see him going into a tackle and leaving his behind exposed. Because if you've played Rondo, you know what I mean. If you want to go in for a ball, you also gotta make sure that your midfield is there to cover you. You can't just lunge in for the ball and then they go past you and there's no one covering for you. You have to be more aware. And Ugarte is not that, and his passing is shit. And I just I don't know anything good that comes out of the guy apart from accumulating yellow cards for us. So um, in other words, I don't care if that had happened behind the scenes with Ugarte and Amorim, but it is definitely false news, and there's no reason for Amorim to do that now, where he's very limited in the numbers in the midfield. So yeah. Anyway, guys, this video has gone way too long than I had expected, but thank you for watching. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Hopefully, there's more news out there that feels a lot better going into the Liverpool game, and I can't wait to watch that game and give you all my thoughts. Thank you for watching. See you. Peace out.